Towards the end of A Dance with Dragons, Jon Snow, now commander of the Night's Watch, receives a threatening, abusive and vulgar letter which states that Stannis Baratheon has been killed, Mance Rayder imprisoned, his wildlings killed, and that Theon and fake Sansa, who's really Jane Poole, have escaped, and that if Jon doesn't hand them back, the author threatens to attack the Night's Watch and takes Jon's sister back by force. The letter is signed by Ramsay Bolton, and the most simple and obvious choice for who wrote the pink letter is obviously him. Indeed, in the show, Ramsay is shown as the author, and many qualities of the letter, such as the brutal acts described and some of the way he writes, are in line with Ramsay's personality. However, several things within the letter give us reason to doubt who its true author may be, such as the lack of a seal and the strange wording. Aside from Ramsay, the two most popular candidates for who wrote the pink letter are Mance Rayder and Stannis Baratheon. First, let's examine the case for Mance. The letter shows an in-depth and comprehensive knowledge of the true identities and events of the people that have been going on inside the castle. Seeing as Mance and his wildlings were living in Winterfell, they would have this inside knowledge. The use of the term crows to refer to the Night's Watch is common amongst wildlings, but rarely heard south of the Wall. This could point towards Mance being the author. However, I don't think this is particularly likely. At the end of Dance, their cover is blown as they help Jane and Theon escape, so it's unlikely that he is currently still free or undercover. It's much more likely that he is either dead or, as the letter says, imprisoned. This makes it very improbable that Mance would be able to find paper and ink and write and then send a letter off to Jon at the Wall. Though it's not completely impossible, perhaps with the collusion of the Maester, it doesn't seem very likely. The second and more convincing candidate is Stannis. Stannis is approaching Winterfell and is getting ready to besiege it. However, the thick snows and attrition have badly damaged his army. He now likely lacks the manpower to take the formidable fortress. He had asked the wildlings at the Wall to join him before he set off, but they had refused to follow him, viewing him as a sovereign king. However, they do seem to view Jon as a bit like a king, and he is someone they are willing to follow, like in the show. Thus, the theory supposes that Stannis deliberately wrote the letter, filled it with lies designed to make Jon angry, provoke him, and march south to attack Winterfell, thus providing Stannis with reinforcements. Additionally, the wildlings are trained experts at marching and fighting in the bitter cold and snow, which means they could catch up with Stannis quite quickly and would be very useful in battle. However, the theory has some problems, with the most glaring being, how does Stannis know about the identity of Mance? Well, firstly, we know from the Winds of Winter sample chapters that Theon and probably Jane have reached Stannis' camp. He can tell him of events inside the castle. However, Theon does not know that Abel is in fact Mance. On the other hand, Melisandre might have told Stannis about her plans for Mance before she pretended to kill him. However, whether she would have told him is dubious, given Stannis' rigid adherence to justice and duty. He would probably have insisted upon Mance, who failed to pledge his loyalty to him and was a deserter from the Night's Watch, being executed, so I don't think Melisandre would have revealed the plan to Stannis. Finally, at the bottom of the letter, Ramsay declares himself to be not the heir to Winterfell, but the actual ruler. This would only be possible if Roose Bolton has already been killed, like he was in the show. However, how would Stannis know this? When Theon left the castle, Roose was very much still in charge. Besides, Roose dying would go against the bolt-on theory, so it can't be right. At the end of the day, the author of the pink letter is an enduring mystery, one we may only find the answer to when George finally releases the Winds of Winter, if that day ever comes.